You want to know why nutrition debates are so heated and so nasty? People pick sides. Well, in this video, I'm going to share what I think is the reason for all of that as we go for a walk in the park on this second episode of Walk with Dr. K. I'm Dr. Karthik Ramanan. I help ambitious individuals end self-criticism with tools and strategies to create optimal everyday mental health. So if we're just meeting for the first time and you know that you need to silence that critical voice in your head so you can get out of your own way and start doing the things that you care about in life so you can lead a purposeful life, well, I'm here for you. Let's get started. Hit subscribe right now and let's go. This is Walk with Dr. K, episode 2. It's informal, relatively uncut, and we're just going to go for a walk and talk about things that I think you might care about. So let's go for a walk. This past Wednesday, I posted the Dr. K show about a so-called choline crisis and whether plant-based diets were safe for brain health. And really, it was generally a larger commentary on nutrition science these days. It's very easy to pick a certain nutrient, find papers that support a premise that you have about that nutrient, and then make a broader claim. And my philosophy has always been that we don't know. We don't know. You don't eat a single nutrient. If you do, that's called a supplement, right? And that's useful in certain circumstances. But food is this symphony of macronutrients, micronutrients, phytochemicals, if you're talking about plants, and the way that they interact in the human body is much harder to predict than your traditional double-blind placebo-controlled study that is the standard when you're talking about testing individual compounds. Think pharmaceutical drugs, even botanical herbs and that sort of thing. So with nutrition, it's so much harder, right? And my philosophy has always been, okay, zoom out. Who has the length of life, the quality of life, free of chronic disease, meaningful life that I want, right? And reverse engineer that. And that's been done, right? A lot of the population-based studies, the Blue Zones research has shown that consuming more whole plant foods is a healthy approach to achieving those goals. And that's really been, so if you've been following me for a while, you know that I do advocate for a whole food plant-based diet. That doesn't necessarily mean 100% vegan for everyone. I think that's a journey that everyone needs to kind of take for themselves and figure out what is that balance that makes sense for them. I generally think less than 10% of total calories from animal products is the more healthful way to go. For me, that's 0. But again, for everyone, that's going to vary. And certainly the specific foods that are agreeable to you might not be agreeable to someone else. There's a whole slew of ants here. Make sure I don't step on them. Jeez. All right, uncut, folks. So in any case, we are really in this world right now where it seems like people have a side already with nutrition, whether it's plant-based or keto or fill in the blank, right? Whatever. And we look for research, we look for doctors who support that view and say, ha, see, I was right. And I just don't think that's healthy for us as individuals, for us as a society. Mainly because, well, let's just be honest. Do we really know? Does anybody in this world really know the actual truth about nutrition and understand how every compound interacts in the body? We're doing that research to figure it out right now. But the funny thing is, you look at wild animals, they know what to eat. We are the only species on this planet that does not know what to eat. For all of our intelligence, we don't know what to eat, right? And it's baffling to me. So I say, eat more whole plant foods, just as they're found in nature. and go from there. Let that be your starting point, and work with a naturopathic physician or an integrative physician to figure out exactly what you need in order to balance out any nutritional imbalances and help you achieve the recovery from any chronic conditions you might be dealing with. But I think the reason that we get so frustrated with each other with nutrition is this, and I think it goes far beyond just the surface level. On a fundamental level, you've heard you are what we eat, right? You've heard you are what you eat, correct? And it's true. Like literally, the cell membranes, the DNA, your GI lining, your neurons, those are all composed of building blocks that at some point or another you ate. So the quality of the food that you eat directly impacts the cells that are in your body, directly impacts what you are made of, directly impacts your identity, right? I've worked with so many people in modifying dietary changes, and yes, there is some degree of, it's so hard to get off of sugar, for instance. I'm talking about refined sugar, not fruit sugar. Or I'm really addicted to dairy. But the reality is, when we really dive into the mental aspect of it, we're addicted to the memories. We're addicted to what those foods mean to us, what comfort they provide us, right? We're addicted to that feeling of, this food brings me back to that time when my mom used to make, right? Fill in the blank. And that's different for all of us based on how we were raised and how we got to where we are in life right now. So when you're transitioning your diet, you have to look for that pattern to say, am I really missing this food, or am I missing the feelings that come with this food? Because if you're aware of that, you can start to create new relationships with food that are helpful toward, again, not having to worry about, you can create new relationships with your food. I'll leave it at that. So I think the reason that people get so uptight about nutrition science is because if I say, hey, you know what, I think eating a low-carb, ketogenic, animal-based diet for a long period of time may be detrimental, somebody might hear that and take that as a slight to literally them, because their cells are made up of that food. And that's why I have so much empathy for what's going on for people here, because it's we're having this emotional debate that's wrapped in papers and research, and we're trying to justify our emotions with rational logic. It just doesn't work that way. So, personally, I'm going to take the approach with you that I don't know the answers, but together we can work on it and figure out what works best for you, right? I know the general trends. I know what works best for me. I can teach you, and then you can figure it out from there together. But I think for anyone to say, this is right for you, not quite sure that holds true. And just remember, so next time you see some argument about nutrition on the internet, just remember that it is an argument that is rooted in emotion. It's rooted in the fact that people are taking it to be an insult to their character. We're questioning our fundamental existence when we say you can't eat that or you shouldn't eat that. So, notice that and, respectfully move on. So in any case, I think we've come to the end of our walk If you've enjoyed this, be sure to drop a like below, drop me a comment. Let me know if there's any other topics that you want me to just casually talk to you about like this. And maybe I'll do another episode just for you. Till next time, remember, I believe in your greatness.